Dairy Program, and we are so excited that you are joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Heather and, of course, her adorable adopted calves, Elizabeth, Lulu, and Sweet Caroline. Today's chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to both those organizations for making today possible. First, the live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program, and for anyone that is new to Discover Dairy or Adopt a Cow, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while using dairy concepts to teach those lessons. If you're interested in learning more about those resources, we're going to go ahead and put the link in the chat for you so you can access it quickly. That's discoverdairy.com. We'd also love for you to join the Adopt a Cow Fund next year. So whether you're interested in joining again and you're finishing up your year with us, or you happen to stumble upon this live chat and you think it'd be cool to join the fund next year, we welcome you to do that. The registration for the program will start on May 1st. So since we're not quite there yet, you can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt. And on that landing page, there will be a very short form for you to complete. You can drop in your email address and then you'll get added to our emailing list. And you'll get an email notification on May 1st when registration opens up so you can join the fund. The program will then start in the new school year in October. Next, as everyone continues to join us live today, you will see that that chat feature is enabled both on Facebook and YouTube. So please feel free to continue using that chat feature. You can comment throughout our chat today. You can ask questions to Farmer Heather. We are really excited to answer those questions. I know Farmer Heather is excited to hear from you. We just ask that you please be mindful of what you're putting in there. We want to make sure it is related to the chat and that we're keeping it school appropriate. And we really appreciate that in advance. And so I can see we have lots of friends joining us today. So before we turn it over to Farmer Heather, we're going to see who's joining us and do a little bit of shout outs to those who are hopping on here with us. So we've got a couple from right in the beginning. We've got fourth grade Reed's crew watching from John Muir Elementary. So welcome and good morning. Got some folks from Madison, some fourth graders from Pratt Elementary. Welcome. Good morning. Some third graders from Pulaski. Welcome. We've got Mrs. McGrath's fourth grade class in Salem. Or I guess we're at good afternoon at this point now. So good afternoon. Sorry about that. We've got some third graders from Cottage Grove at Granite Ridge School. Hello, welcome. We've got some folks from Fox Prairie Elementary. We've got Mrs. Mickelson's third grade class. Hello, how are you all? More third graders from Windsor Elementary. Jumping down a little bit further here, Mrs. Russell's class in Salem. Brighton fourth graders. Christ the Lord Lutheran in Brookfield, Wisconsin. And oh my goodness, there are so many people. And let's just do the last two here. St. Victor in Monroe and Pewaukee Elementary School. Welcome all of you. We are so thrilled to have you. I know I didn't get a chance to read all of them, but we are so excited to have you today. You all know where that chat is, so please continue using that today. We're excited to get your questions and comments throughout the chat. And I know Farmer Heather is excited to hear from you. So with that, I am pleased to introduce you to Farmer Heather. Hey, Farmer Heather, how are you doing today?
Hi, Brittany. I'm doing great today.
Good.
I'm really excited that the live chat is finally here.
Yeah, we're excited to be here, and I can clearly tell everyone is very, very excited. We're seeing lots of love for all the different calves. We just got a big "I love Elizabeth" all across the chat, so we're excited to get to meet our girls. But we'd love to hear from you first, and feel free to give us a little bit of an update on you and tell us about your farm, and then we can hopefully meet our ladies shortly after that.
All right. Well, my name is Heather, Farmer Heather, and my husband and Jay and I own Synergy Family Dairy in Northeast Wisconsin. We run this dairy along with our family and a wonderful team of employees that helps us take care of our 600 cows day to day here on the farm. We are really excited to participate in the Adopt a Cow program. This is the second time we've been in the program, and we sincerely enjoy the connections that we get with the classrooms across the state through the Adopt a Cow program. And of course, I am super excited for all of you to meet your calves today.
Yeah, we are so excited too. And I know you said 600 cows, which is incredible. That is a lot of cows to care for. But I must say, I think these three ladies behind you are probably our favorite three that are part of your farm right now. So we'd love to go ahead and jump into getting an intro and an update on how they're all doing. So I'll let you take it away on our cute calves here behind you.
All right. So without further ado, we will introduce these lovely ladies behind me. On this end here is Miss Sweet Caroline, and we'll try to get a little camera view of her face as well. But the girls are eating a little hay here while they were waiting for the live chat to start, and they're pretty mellow. Next, we have Lulu right in the middle here. And then we have the shy one in the back. That's Miss Elizabeth. She's been the shy girl of the three from day one, but
Oh.
she's sweet too.
Oh my goodness. They all look so big. Do you want to talk about maybe how big they are now and exactly what are they eating and everything like that?
Yeah, so they've transitioned through a few different steps as far as their nutrition program goes. And so now they have a little bit of hay in here just to keep them occupied. But most of the time now they're in a pen with other heifers that are growing and that are this age. And though they're eating something called a TMR, which stands for a total mixed ration. And in that TMR is some hay and some corn. And we feed a little bit of canola meal, which is a wonderful source of protein. And then they also have vitamins and minerals in that TMR, but basically it's designed to provide a balanced diet for them in every bite that they eat. So because there are a bunch of them together in a pen and they share kind of the same eating space throughout the day, the diet's formulated to make sure that they have a balanced diet in every bite.
Wow. It sounds like so you work with the nutritionist to make this TMR. So they have their own nutritionist making their own special meals. It sounds like we take better care of our cows than we do ourselves.
From a nutrition standpoint, that is absolutely without a
Yeah.
doubt true.
Yeah, they and you can tell, look how healthy and beautiful they look. So how much of that feed do you think they're eating every day? Like how many pounds?
Um, that is something that I didn't do any research on exactly, but my guess is that they're probably eating at least 20 pounds of
Wow.
that food a day.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really good eaters at this stage, and that's one of the reasons that they're growing as well as they are. Their ruminant stomachs are pretty amazing, and so they are able to eat and process a lot of forage in a day.
Wow. Now they're eating a lot of food, so they're obviously growing a lot. Do we have any idea about how tall they are or how much they're weighing right now? Maybe some estimates on how big they've gotten at 7 months old.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest and tell you I didn't measure them to see how tall they've gotten, but they are over 400 pounds now.
Wow.
So yeah, they've definitely they've grown a lot, both height and weight, and I think these girls are kind of in just the right amount of condition that we want them to have. So I
Yeah.
think they're doing a great job of growing up as well as putting on some weight.
Yeah. Now, just for comparison about how tall are you? Maybe that'll help them just get an
Yeah,
idea of how tall they are.
good question. So I am 5'5".
Perfect. Yeah, and they almost, especially
Yeah,
the
look
one
how
on the end
tall
here,
they are.
almost comes up to your shoulders. Like it's getting pretty close. Wow.
Yeah, Sweet Caroline's got some tall genes, so her genetics will say she's going to be pretty tall.
That's really cool. I love it. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe they're so big. We are, I wish you could see the chat right now. There is lots of love for all three of these ladies happening right now. Everyone's really excited to see all three of them. And it is funny that our black and white one on the end there is definitely the shortest of the three. So yeah, she's just a little bit behind, but that's okay. Do you want to just talk briefly on what the difference is of why we've got some red and white and why we've got black and white and just talk about that color difference?
Sure, I'd love to. So actually, all three of these girls are Holsteins, and Holsteins are known for their spots, and typically Holsteins are black and white. But there is a single gene in their genome that if they get the red version of that gene, they will have a red and white hair coat instead of a black and white hair coat. So it's a single gene that's different between Elizabeth and then Lulu and Sweet Caroline.
That's really cool. So I guess maybe in comparison, it's kind of like a yellow lab and a black lab. Like they're still labs. They're, these are still Holsteins. They just are a different color. Is it similar to that?
Right. Very similar
Ah.
inheritance pattern. Yep.
Very cool. Awesome. So, Farmer Heather, we have some really good questions coming in. So, I'm going to try and ask some of these questions if you are ready to answer. And while we're chatting, we can just spotlight these ladies and hang out with them for a little bit. So, we had a question. Someone was asking, Miss Braun was asking, how much do cows sleep a day? And do they sleep standing up, laying down? How do they sleep?
Yeah. So there's a myth that cows will sleep standing up. That is absolutely not true. They they do sleep laying down. And cows spend on average they spend about half of their day laying down.
Wow.
Not all of that time is sleeping, but they do spend a fair amount of time laying down. And especially for our adult cows that are producing milk, that's really an important number to us, or an important time, because that's when cows produce milk. They produce milk when they're laying down and resting. So it's really important to us that our cows have a nice, comfortable place to rest and spend as much time resting as they want to.
Oh, that makes sense. That sounds like I would want to live a life of a cow if I could sleep half my day away. That sounds pretty
Right?
enjoyable. So another question that we got asked, they are asking, so you said 600 cows that you're milking. That's a lot of cows to feed. How much food do you have to make and mix to feed all 600 cows every day? Do you know maybe how many pounds?
I don't know that number, but we have a huge piece of equipment which is called the TMR Mixer, and that mixer mixes about 10 different batches, the entire thing full, about 10 different batches every single day to feed all the different groups. So of the herds the herd from the heifers on up through the milking cows, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different TMR rations that's formulated to what they need at that particular stage.
Wow.
And so that TMR mixer mixes a total of 10 batches every day.
Wow, that's incredible. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's on average 90 to 100 pounds of feed a cow when they're milking, I think is like the average. So maybe if we do simple math, 100 pounds times 600 cows, that's 60,000 pounds. Did I just do that math right, or did I do it wrong?
No, I think that was right.
Okay, so I mean, and that's just your milking cows, and you mentioned your heifers and dry cows, and everybody else also needs food. So, that's a lot of food for the farm.
Yeah, that's a big job. And actually, our middle son, Carter, has that job on our farm. So most days he is the one mixing that feed for all of the cows.
That's cool. What a neat job. Actually, so if you don't mind speaking on that a little bit, what's your role on the farm, and how does your family play a part in your whole family farm too?
Yeah. So my role has evolved a little bit as the herd has grown. So I still am the primary person responsible for the entire milking herd or mature herd. I have people that help me in that role to make sure that cows get all the vaccinations that they need on time, and to work in the maternity area when cows are having babies, to tend to any cows that are feeling under the weather. So that's something that I do on a daily basis, all of those things. And then also I still really enjoy taking care of calves. So I spend a fair amount of time feeding calves and taking care of calves on a regular basis too. So basically I always tell people that if they're breathing on the dairy, they're probably my responsibility ultimately.
So all of them.
Yeah. Yes. My husband Jay does a lot of the coordinating of all of our crops and the harvesting, the coordinating of the harvesting of the crops, the planning for all of that, our nutrient management. He does a lot of those things on the dairy, and he also works with the genetics of the herd quite a bit. And then
Gotcha.
we have a team of about 12 employees that help us here, throughout the week, just making sure that everybody is fed and healthy and bedded and cleaned and all of those things that have to happen on the dairy on a very regular basis.
Yeah, it definitely takes a team effort to keep these ladies happy and healthy because they're number one priority. So, got to keep them content. And I gotta say, when we were over on the other side with Elizabeth, it was quite hilarious. She wanted nothing to do with the camera, but these two red and whites over here are all excited that the camera is hanging out with them. So you're right. Elizabeth is a little camera shy, a little bit
Yeah,
timid.
she's a little more standoff. She's all business. She just goes
She,
about she's all business.
I love that. That's cute. We've had a couple folks asking about their moms. Do you know anything about their moms? Like just how are they doing or how old are they or anything like that?
Yeah, moms are all doing great. Sweet Caroline's mom is Donut. Donut has had 3 calves now, so she's a 4-year-old, and she actually is pregnant and will have another calf late this fall. Um, Unfortunately, it's going to be a boy, so Sweet Caroline's not going to get a sister. She's going to get a brother. Um, Lulu's mom is Loophole, and she is one of the older members of our herd, actually. So Loophole, I think, has now had 7 calves and is
Wow.
almost 10 years old. And she also is going to have another baby closer to winter time. She is also
Wow.
having a boy. So Lulu's getting a brother.
Oh,
And then Elizabeth's mom is Zio, and Zio was her second calf. And she's also going to have another baby this fall. And that one, we don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet. So
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so glad to hear that they're all doing well. And we had a bunch of people asking about each one. So thank you for that quick update on them. It's good to hear that they're doing good in the milking herd. And of course to see our lovely ladies doing good too. So we see them here in front of us, and obviously their moms are part of the milking herd. When will our 3 adopted calves join the milking herd? What's the process like for them? When, like, how old are they? What has to happen? When will that happen?
right. So they actually have quite a bit of growing to do yet before they're going to be mamas themselves. They will have their first baby and start producing milk when they're about 2 years old. So they are adults when they get to be about 2 years old.
Okay.
Um, Cows have a gestation length very similar to humans. So basically 9 months from the time that the baby starts to grow to the time that the baby will be born. So
Mhm.
it will be a while yet before we worry about that with them. Like I said, they've got some growing to do yet, but
Yeah.
hopefully uh, about December or so probably will be
Mhm.
time to start thinking about mating them and figuring out the right sire for them so that they
Yeah.
can have a baby.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Lulu's
Looks
being
like,
kind of crazy here.
yeah. She's scratching her head, getting some
Yeah,
food. She's just showing off for the camera, I guess.
she definitely has the dominant personality of the group.
I love that. We were asked by a couple of people, how much water do they drink a day? And if maybe if we don't know it for them, how much does a grown cow drink a day?
So this is a great question, and it's a pretty crazy number, but the like an adult cow that's producing milk will drink 50 or 60 gallons of water a day. So basically
Oh
a
my gosh.
bathtub full of water in it. So they actually have to drink a lot of water to produce all of that milk.
Wow. So 50 to 60 gallons of water. And yeah, that's incredible. I can't, that's a lot. That's like, that's more than a bathtub full. That's just a lot of water. I would be floating. So the,
Right?
that's a lot of water that they can take in. Let's see. We've got some other questions here. Oh, this is a good one from Ms. Casto. They're wondering how many cows are born on your farm each year.
Born on the farm each year. So we will have about, um, let me see, yeah, between 550 and 600 calves born on our farm each year.
Wow.
Um, we just had, so we have really wet, stormy, cold, yucky weather here in Wisconsin right now. And when we have storms that roll through, I'm not sure what it is, but we tend to have what we call cavalanches, where we have lots of babies born. So in the last 30 hours or so, we had 9 babies born. That is not typical,
Oh my
and it
God.
makes for a very busy day or day and a half for us when that happens. But yeah, that's not typical. We average about 1 or 2 calves a day.
9 calves in 30 hours. That was, I am sure you guys were running around like crazy. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of babies to take care of.
They definitely kept us happy.
I'm sure. We had a good question. This is more towards you. What is your favorite part of living on a dairy farm?
Oh, I have a lot of favorite parts of living on a dairy farm, but I think still welcoming the new babies into the world and then getting to take care of them and watch them grow and develop is probably still my most favorite part. I just really appreciate that, and I still feed calves every day just because I really do enjoy it that much.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I mean, how can you not love these animals? I mean, just look at them. They're
Right?
so cute. And they're so sweet to be around, and they're just, I don't know. They're so calm, but yet fun, and they all have their own personalities, which is cool to watch them grow into their own personalities.
They
Um,
definitely do have their own unique personalities.
right, yeah. And we're seeing it in these 3 right now.
Right.
We had a question on when do you what so I think we mentioned earlier they're considered full grown around 2 years old. But how big, like how much would they weigh potentially when they get to be that age?
Wow, that's a great question. So, again, genetics will play a role. I think that our mature cows on our dairy average about 1,700 pounds. But we have had cows that were all the way up to over 2,000 pounds, and we've got a few on the farm right now that are over 2,000 pounds. So, um, when some of these girls, like maybe Elizabeth has got a little bit smaller frame, when she has her first baby, she might be more like 1,400 or 1,500 pounds, and then she'll grow a little bit after that yet. So, on average, I would say about 1,700 pounds.
Wow, that's a big animal. That's approaching a whole ton. That's a very
Right?
big animal.
For
um
sure.
yeah, we had a question just based off of these 3. Which one of these 3 is the oldest of the calves or heifers in front of us?
Well, we can tell that just by looking at their ear tag numbers. So that would be Elizabeth. They are born in a very tight window of about 10 days, but
Okay,
Elizabeth is the oldest of the
the
3 by
oldest
a
of the
couple
3.
of days.
Aw, very cool. And then along that lines, we had a question of asking, which is the oldest cow on your farm?
Ah, that's one of my favorite questions. So the oldest cow on our farm is 16 years old.
Wow.
Her Yeah, her name is Daffy, and she is very, very special girl to all of us.
Aw.
Um, so in her Daffy has had a very productive career at Synergy Dairy, and so far in her lifetime, Daffy has produced 450,000 pounds of milk. So I don't
Oh
have the
my
math on
gosh.
gallons, but if you divide 450,000 pounds by 8.6, that'll tell you how many gallons Daffy has produced. She's a pretty special cow.
Wow, that I did the math quick, but I'd be curious to see if anyone at home did it. So if anyone can figure that out, go ahead and put it in the chat. It was 450,000 pounds divided by 8.6. That's because there's 8.6 pounds per gallon. And we'll see if anyone has the answer, but I've got it in front of me. We'll see if anyone gets it right. We'll come back to that in a couple seconds here, but that's a lot of milk. Sounds like she's a favorite maybe on the farm, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
she's definitely a favorite.
um, we had a question. Let's see. They were wondering, how do cows play, and do you know if they have a best friend or anything like that?
Oh, I like that question too. So cows do definitely play. They They like to run around with each other. They on some days they're pretty mellow and hang out, but on other days they will like when they go to the milking, even cows when they go up to the milking parlor and come back. Oh,
Aw.
they will they will some of them will come running back really fast. They'll run circles around the pen. You know, there's those that have those outgoing personalities where they definitely play more than the others do. You see it a lot more in calves. The calves
Mhm.
play all the time. They
Aw.
roughhouse with each other a little bit and that kind of thing. I'm sorry, there was a second part to that question. Oh, how
Do they have friends? Yeah.
do they have friends? So we notice all of the time, calves that have the ear tag numbers in sequence will, those calves will kind of transition through all of the group calf pens together because they're the same
Mm.
age. And so
Mhm.
we notice in our milking pens all of the time that they'll be laying next to each other in stalls side by side, or
Hmm.
they might be in the headlocks together eating side by side. We see it all the time. So it's really cool. Yes, I do think that they have friends and they have favorites that they like to spend their time
Aw.
with.
Oh, that's really cute. I love that.
Yeah.
And just to circle back around, we had great mathematicians that everyone got it correct who put it in here. 52,325 gallons of milk one cow produced in her lifetime. That is amazing. I cannot believe that.
That's crazy.
That's an accomplishment. All right, so we're gonna start wrapping up on some questions here, but I just had a couple others we wanted to touch base on quick. And specifically, some folks have asked about the milking process. And if you don't mind, just briefly explaining what is that like? Is it short? Is it long? How does it feel for the cow? That kind of thing.
Okay, so we actually milk our cows 3 times a day. They live out here in the freestall barn, and then they walk to the milking parlor to get milked 3 times a day. So they when they wait in a little holding area because our parlor is a double 8 parlor. So basically what that means is there are 16 cows that can get milked at the same time. So the girls will go in and fill up the side each side of the milking parlor. um, we use a sanitizing teat dip that we dip the teats with that first, and then we will strip a few strips of milk out of the teats just to make sure that everything looks good.
Mhm.
And then we dry those teats with an individual microfiber soft cow towel. Every cow gets her own towel every milking. And then the milking unit is attached. So not only does that process get the teats really clean, so that we have a really clean milk product, but also it helps the cow to know that it's time for her to let her milk down. So then once the unit is attached, it typically takes about 4 minutes for a cow to milk out completely. So it's not real long.
Yeah.
Um, and then when they're done being milked out, we take the unit off and we put a sanitizing teat dip with some lotion in it to help keep the teats nice and soft. And the cow goes back to her pen. Typically on the way back, they like to get a big drink of water on the way back because they're replenishing that water. And then also they usually will go get a big snack at the feed bunk. So that's kind of what the process looks like.
Wow. And we talked about how they sleep half the day. Then the other half of the day, it's out, well, only for a small portion with 4 minutes they work. And then the rest of the time they eat, relax, do nothing. That's incredible. Sounds like it's a very relaxing process for them, which is pretty cool. I love that. So we are going to wrap it up here. I know we have many, many questions that were still in the chat. You guys asked incredible questions. First of all, thank you so much for being so interactive. Your questions have been fantastic. I have went ahead and copied and pasted a lot of these questions. And Farmer Heather, hopefully you and I can touch base and maybe just try and get some of these questions answered offline. And then we can try and maybe send some of the answers out to everybody so that way we can get some of those answers to everyone, just because there was a lot of questions coming in. You guys rocked it today. And we'll go from there. But to wrap up today, if you don't mind kind of just sharing, and actually someone asked this earlier and I skipped it on purpose because I knew you were going to ask it at the end, but I'd love to know what is your why? Why have you chosen to be a dairy farmer? What's, what makes you get up every day and choose this life? Because it sounds like you're very busy. So what's your reason behind being a dairy farmer?
So I was born and raised on a dairy farm, and I can tell all of you students that one thing I was sure about when I graduated from high school was that I was never going to be a dairy farmer. I thought that my life purpose was definitely something else, other than being a dairy farmer. So the fact that I'm here today is testament to I felt a strong sense of purpose. I feel a strong sense of purpose every day in what I do. Um, I really feel like being a dairy producing any kind of food, being any kind of farmer, I think is a very high calling, and I just feel really good about what we do every day. Taking
Yeah.
care of the cattle, taking care of the land, being really connected to the land, and how it produces food for everyone, is just something that I really enjoy. And that full circle of life that we see here is meaningful and purposeful to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess to wrap it up, it's just I find a lot of purpose and satisfaction in what we do every day.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, these cows are very clearly happy, content, comfortable. You are providing a very wholesome, healthy, nutritious product that I know I love enjoying. I love milk, ice cream, yogurt, cream cheese, everything else under the sun, dairy. You ask anybody, and I'm sure many of our folks watching today feel the exact same way. So, from us to you, we want to say thank you so much for providing such a whole healthy wholesome product so that we can enjoy it, and just being an amazing farmer. Your farm is beautiful, your cows are very happy and content. You have a lot to be proud of, and we really appreciate all your dedication to the industry, and taking care of them, and providing us with such a great product. So thank you, Farmer Heather, for being really wonderful and being part of this program. We've loved following you and your calves. They've been adorable to follow this year, and it's just been a lot of fun. So before we jump off today, is there any other last minute message you'd like to share with everybody, before we tune off?
There's just one, Brittany, and thank you for all those kind words. There is one message I'd like to share. So we're doing something really cool on our farm on
Oh,
June 25th of this year.
ooh,
June 25th, we are hosting the Shawano County brunch on the farm. And everyone that's listening, all the classrooms are invited to come and join us that day. We are going to have a special display area for these three girls, where you can come and meet them and take your picture with them. If you're able to join us for the day, we will have a very yummy meal, breakfast meal for the brunch that you can enjoy with your family. There'll be lots of games and family activities to do. We'll be doing farm tours. There'll be a petting zoo, and of course, there will be
wow.
ice cream sundaes for everyone as
Mhm.
well. So we just want to extend an invitation to all of you to come and join us on June 25th for the Shawano County brunch on the farm.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. June 25th. Brunch on the farm. Sounds amazing. I wish I lived closer, not all the way in Pennsylvania, because I would be there in a heartbeat. But that sounds amazing. I thank you for the open invite. I hope some of you are able to come out to their farm. You can get to see your calf in person, and of course get to see their farm and meet Farmer Heather and her family, because you guys are amazing. So very, very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for opening your farm like that. What an awesome opportunity to come see what a real dairy farm functions like and looks like, and ask all the questions you want. So thank you, Farmer Heather. This has been a lot of fun today. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today. You had great questions. Thank you for saying thank you and sharing all of your love for Farmer Heather. We really appreciate it. And we've loved having you in the program this year. And we look forward to seeing you in the program next year. All righty, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you later.